The long national nightmare is over. For so many people, they woke up on Saturday and thought, that's it. The end is here. Saturday night, I guess. They didn't wake up on Saturday. And then, chaos ensued because TikTok had been shut down. With a note that said, fortunately, President Trump will bring us back online.
Yeah, he's working on it.
And then before the inauguration, ta-da, it was back.
Yeah, not even today. Yesterday, it was back.
TikTok was saved. I don't know exactly how long it was down, but it was a matter of hours.
Less than a day.
Yeah, less than a day. But with messages saying, we praise President Trump. I thought that was really interesting. Joining us right now is our KTAR legal analyst, Barry Markson. Barry, I thought it was all posturing. I didn't think that they were going to shut down at all, but they did. Do you think it was always the plan to shut down for a very short amount of time?
Maybe that was their plan. I agree with you, though, Chris. I didn't think they were going to really shut down. They didn't have to. President Biden said he wasn't going to enforce the law in his 1 day left in office. Trump indicated he wasn't going to enforce the law and wanted additional time. But obviously, they played that as a way to give now President Trump the opportunity to secure a win. They brought it back online because of Trump, which is just, stroking his ego. And they're hoping now, TikTok obviously hoping now for a good deal with Trump to let them stay on the air.
Barry Markson, our KTAR legal analyst, was talking with a friend who saw that TikTok had been shut down, was frustrated, and then thought, well, that's it, and deleted the app. Then it comes back, and I even checked it before we came on the air today at the Apple Store. It says TikTok and other ByteDance apps are not available in the country or region you're in. Is there a reason that say, the Google Play Store or the Apple Store might not want to have these apps on their platforms any longer? It seems like they might be missing out.
Well, part of that law makes that illegal, too. And there have been actually some Republican senators who've come out and said that these companies that continue to support TikTok now face potential criminal and civil exposure. So I think some of them are just saying, hey, until this gets straightened out, we're not going to be part of it. We don't want the exposure. We don't want to break the law. So I think that's what you're seeing right now from some of these companies. It'll be interesting to see what Trump can actually do here. But in the meantime, officially right now, the law in the United States is TikTok is banned.
Barry Markson is our KTAR legal analyst. So Barry, what does the future look like for TikTok, though? Because Chris mentioned, even as they were shutting down, they were indicating that they were optimistic things would change under Trump. Then less than a day later, they said, thanks to Trump, we're good to go again. So what does the future look like for them? And in 90 days, will everything be rosy?
Well, so Trump said he's going to issue an executive order keeping this law at bay for 90 days. Somebody will probably file a lawsuit against that because I don't really know how that's legal. There's a law passed by Congress that outlaws this. An executive order can't just change that law. So we'll see what the courts do with that and how quickly it occurs. Trump's plan, at least as it is now, and it's incredibly vague, he wants TikTok to be a 50-50 joint venture between ByteDance, the Chinese owner, and some kind of an American entity. Trump hasn't indicated if that's partly the American government owning half of it. And he actually said, kind of indicated that and said that we're not paying for it, that in essence, he expects ByteDance just to give 50% ownership to this American entity. Again, that by itself wouldn't actually take care of the law. The law says that the algorithm and where that information from the algorithm goes, the data cannot be controlled by a Chinese company. So even if Trump gets what he's kind of describing now, I don't think that satisfies the law. And although there are Republicans who are already changing their position to say we want to save TikTok, there are also many conservative Republicans and national security hawks saying this is a real risk to us. There's a reason this law was passed, and we're not going to reverse it or allow this to be undermined.
Barry, this is fascinating where this is going and how this can turn into a political volleyball very quickly. What would U.S. ownership look like if it's not a private company? I can't think of a lot of examples where the U.S. government actually takes ownership of a corporation. Usually we farm that out, whether it's purchasing weapons or even contractors that support NASA. It seems like the government is not in the business of business.
Yeah, they could do it as some sort of kind of a licensing agreement. They could have an exemption where Somehow the algorithm is now controlled by an American entity or supervised by an American entity. There's I guess there's things they could do that are similar to some things, but this would be very different. And again, that's not none of this is what the law says. The law says they have to either sell the company and control of those things, or it's going to be shut down. That's what the law says. So I don't know how President Trump is going to get around this as much as he may want to. TikTok is showing no interest in wanting to sell any part of this or giving up their algorithm. Keep in mind, TikTok isn't just here; it's all over the world. So
Yeah.
I don't know how they could sell part of it here. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But certainly, having the president of the United States on your side, wanting to keep you up and running, is a good thing at this point.
KTAR's legal analyst Barry Markson joins us. So to satisfy the law, Barry, what you said is that China wouldn't be able to have access to the data, right?
Well, and they wouldn't be able to control the algorithm either.
Right.
So the algorithm, part of the algorithm is what it's what you see. So is China, one of the
Influencing and trying to make things seem pro-China.
Exactly, or at
Right.
least, or picking sides in the American political arena.
What are the ramifications beyond TikTok? How many other companies out there, are concerned about what's going to happen, not just with TikTok, but with themselves too? Because I know it's not just TikTok as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other social media apps, but those are owned by Americans or American companies. I think exclusively. I'm sure there are other ones owned by China or other foreign entities, but yeah, that's going to be the issue. But the only one with national security concerns that we've been made aware of through the Congress is TikTok and their Chinese ownership. And I do think it's important to remember this past 6 months ago, it was overwhelming support from both Republicans and Democrats, despite a lot of the public not wanting this to go through. It should be indicative to us of just how dangerous from a national security standpoint this is. I've had tech people tell me that this isn't just like a political thing. There's real national security issues here with this technology. The government actually responded to that. Trump, by the way, was one of the first ones calling for us to ban TikTok 4 years ago. I don't know what changed. Well, nothing's changed other than how Trump's perceiving it. But this is a real issue. It's a real national security issue, and we shouldn't just be talking about it as some sort of a playful political thing. This is a real issue, and I hope we don't let that leave our vision.
Our KTAR legal analyst is Barry Markson. And Barry, as we mentioned, TikTok did shut down for a matter of hours before it came back on. Both shutting down was saying President Trump will save us. When it came back up, it was effusive of President Trump taking office, and how they believed him, but they didn't believe Biden. So there's the political aspect. How much did that shutdown cost people, and how much is it going to cost TikTok? We've got 200 million users in the United States, and so many influencers. The whole reason this has become unpopular, even though maybe a national security sound, is because of how many people use it. I mean, it feels like this is even just that short shutdown cost a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm sure it costs TikTok some money and certainly some of those users. But as you guys pointed out, it was such a short amount of time. It was some amount of hours. It wasn't a whole day. It was on a Sunday. So I think they looked at it as a pretty small investment to kind of give this gift to now President Trump that he saved TikTok, and then hope that he can actually save them. I mean, again, this law is a TikTok killer. They have to sell it or they have to shut it down. And if only Trump can fix that, this little bit of an investment by shutting down for a few hours on a Sunday is pretty small in comparison to what the potential gain can be.
KTAR legal analyst Barry Markson, thank you so much, Barry.
Thanks, guys.
I'm left wondering how this ends. And of course, people are speculating even on TikTok that the whole shutdown and relaunch of the app was just done for strategic and political reasons.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.